South Africans that are watching the Senzo Meyiwa case have so many questions because the things that they have seen in that courtroom are very alarming all the time. Okay. The judge that is presiding over the Senzo Meyiwa matter is quite something else. Okay. He's something else. He's out of the ordinary judges. We have never seen something like that before. Okay. Right now, we are left asking serious questions because we are like, what's going on here? What is this? We have never seen something, whether on television, on whatever. This is the first of its kind. Judge Rata Mofaheng is the first of his kind. Okay. I don't think there will ever be anyone like him. I don't think so. Is the courtroom still following the law? That's the question. Or are new rules being created as the trial goes along? Because what has been happening or what has been unfolding inside that courtroom has left many people that are observing deeply uncomfortable. Weeks of Baloyi doing something that we are not quite sure, because what he is doing, he's reading records, he's reading something and adding it on the record, on the trial records. The same call records repeated again and again, 2 weeks straight without favor or whatever. He's doing that for 2 weeks. Objections that seem to disappear into silence because Judge Rata is fast to cut off the defense team. And a judge who, according to critics, appears reluctant to place his ruling clearly on record. I'm one of those people that criticize him on that. Now, Abondaba and South Africans that care about what happens to the judiciary are asking something bigger. Where are the supervisors of Judge Rata, and why does it feel like everyone in that courtroom is operating without accountability? Why? And the big question about the judge is not something that starts now. We've been asking it for the past 3 years. The concern begins with the conduct of the presiding judge, Rata Mokgoatlheng. Many people that are watching the case believe the judge has been allowing proceedings to drift into territory that does not follow normal courtroom practice. In South African criminal trials, procedure is not optional. It is governed by the Criminal Procedure Act 51 of 1977. That law existed for one reason, to protect the fairness of the trial. But people that are criticizing and are watching the case say something unusual is happening there. Instead of clearly ruling on objections from the defense, the judge sometimes appears to allow the prosecutor to continue speaking without giving a formal decision. That silence of his matters a lot, because when an objection is made in court, the judge is supposed to rule on it clearly on record, but if that ruling never comes, the court record becomes unclear. And that is exactly what some people that are watching say is happening, okay? Especially as Abondaba, including South Africans. Now, let's talk about the 2 weeks of call records. Then there is an issue that has dominated the courtroom for 2 weeks, call records. The prosecutor, Advocate George Baloyi, has spent nearly, in fact, a full 2 weeks presenting phone call data and photographs. But here is where we are criticizing and saying the problem begins. Much of that evidence has already been explained earlier in the trial by digital forensic experts. Yet the same material is now being repeated again and again. Different angles, different questions, but the same core point. The prosecution appears determined to prove that Bongani Ndanzi had possession of a phone while in custody. Ndanzi, however, has pushed back strongly. He insists the date attached to the photographs are incorrect, and he has repeatedly challenged the reliability of the evidence. At one point, he even demanded that the photographs be printed so that the court could properly examine them. That moment stunned many watching the proceedings, because a man who is not a lawyer was forcing the courtroom to confront the possibility that the digital evidence itself is not reliable. So Judge Rata Mokgoatlheng is working on thin ice, and he does not even see it. The controversy does not stop there. Do you remember that there was a time that the defense asked for Section 174 for I choose number 4. The section of Criminal Procedure Act allows the court to discharge an accused person if there is no evidence upon which a reasonable court could convict. In simple terms, if the prosecution's case is too weak, the trial should not continue. But us, people who are criticizing, argue that the decision related to the issue should be clearly justified. Normally, when a judge makes such decision, it is accompanied by written reasoning. That written explanation allows the court, the higher courts, to review the decision later. But when it comes to Judge Ratta avoided issuing detailed written rulings during this phase of a trial. Instead, he has indicated that the reasoning will only appear in the final judgment. What do you mean, sir? To some legal commentators out here, that approach raises concern because without written reasons, it becomes harder to scrutinize the logic behind important courtroom decisions. Now, we are back at one question: where are the people that Judge Ratta is supposed to be reporting to? This brings us to the most uncomfortable question raised, because is there no one supervising Judge Ratta? In South Africa, prosecutors fall under the authority of NPA. Judges, meanwhile, are overseen institutionally by bodies such as Judicial Service Commission, but neither institution interferes directly in a trial while it is happening. That means the courtroom effectively operates independently until the case ends, okay? And if something questionable happens during the proceeding, the only remedy usually comes later through appeals or reviews, which take years, which will be unfair to the case and the accused of the family of Senzo Meyiwa. Now, the courtroom of Judge Ratta Mokgoatlheng is breathing under the wound of microscope from us people that are watching and commenting about it. What makes this trial particularly explosive is the national attention surrounding it. The murder of Senzo Meyiwa shocked the country in 2014. More than a decade later, the search for justice continues. But instead of bringing clarity, the trial itself has now become the subject of intense debate. Some observers believe the prosecution is struggling to present a coherent case, which that's what I also believe. Others believe the defense is exposing some serious weaknesses in the investigation, and many viewers of the case watching daily proceedings are beginning to ask whether the courtroom process itself is becoming a part of the controversy because of how the presiding judge is. Now there is a bigger issue. At the heart of the debate is one principle: fair trial rights. South Africa's constitution guarantees that every accused person must receive a fair trial conducted according to established law. That means clear procedures, transparent rulings, and evidence that is properly tested. When those elements appear uncertain, public confidence is then in the justice system begins to shake, and that is exactly why the proceedings in the courtroom are now being watched so closely by us Abondaba and South Africans at large. The Senzo Meyiwa trial was supposed to answer one question: who killed the national soccer star? But as the proceedings continue, another question has emerged. Is the justice system itself being tested inside that courtroom? For now, the trial continues, the evidence continues, and South Africans continues to watch, because whatever the final verdict may be, because whatever will happen, the credibility of the process will matter just as much as the outcome. So we are sitting here as South Africans thinking, what the heck, man? Judge Ratta, we expected him to be someone who's going to ask, Mr. Baloyi, where are you going with this? We don't even hear him say that. We don't even hear him say overruled, sustained. We have never heard such in his courtroom. We have never heard any of those things. And mind you, this is a former soccer star, so he's dribbling us, heavily dribbling us, Judge Ratta Mokgoatlheng. What are your thoughts when it comes to this? Let's talk in the comment section. I want to hear your views. Thank you so much. I'll see you on our next video. Bye-bye.